So it is another day and it is another video of the TheMainManSwe having some choice words about Hwoarang. Now, I've actually had to record and re-record this video multiple times because my PC has just been in a terrible state. Like, bad things keep happening. I feel like someone put a hex on my PC to stop me from releasing this video. I don't know. So I had to record it once more. So here we are again. So in case you guys are unaware, TheMainManSwe has appeared to be on some kind of crusade against Hwoarang for the last 4 months. I think he uploaded the first video that everyone was telling me about 4 months ago. I remember I reacted to that video on stream, but I never uploaded the video just because, like, so how I take it is like, I never like how the comment section gets when like someone else is involved, and especially someone like MainMan. Like, I think there's like a certain type of perception he has within the community. I think especially the less casual side of the community, and like I think the comment section can get like quite nasty when he's involved. So I just didn't bother making a video about it because I just didn't want to deal with that. You guys know me, I'm very active in the comment section. I reply to comments, I heart comments, I like engaging in the discussion. So I just couldn't bother with that. But you know, since then there've just been more and more Hwoarang videos, and he's had more things to say. He's mentioned me on his stream.
Again, I can only stress, you know, when people like GM say Lee is good now, when people like Kwis say Hwoarang still has problems, I think we're cooked. You get it. I know the devs listen a lot to Twitter feedback, you know, and those guys are a lot on Twitter. So I'm just like, I think we're cooked, to be honest. I think we are cooked.
And like, I find even what he said there really weird because like I don't tweet my thoughts on Hwoarang balance or character balance like at all. So like, I think again that's just more misinformation that he's spreading, I guess, along with the Hwoarang stuff. But yeah, I guess like this is so tiring for me because I've had to watch this video so many times because I've been reacting to it and making videos, and those videos just got corrupted and died. So here we are again. We're gonna get into it, but before we do, guys, do not forget my MetaFi. This shouldn't be up. There we go. My MetaFi, guys, link in the description. A lot of people have been very happy with the coaching recently. The replay review / match analysis is one of my most popular sessions. People keep coming back for more and more. I have a session today. I've got one on Friday. I've got people trying to book new sessions. Like, this is my most popular one by far. Hwoarang Bootcamp also has been getting a lot of love, and the super session as well. So make sure you guys tap in. Link will be in the description. People are really saying that this really helps them, so I think I'm doing a good job. And if you guys want to be one of those people that enjoy the Kwis coaching, link in the description. And now we're going to get into the MainMan video. But before we do, I just want to like highlight a comment here, which kind of like emphasizes my entire thoughts about everything. Is that chat gets quite mean when they disagree with someone's character power opinion. Because oh boy, the comment section and his chat were going insane. I guess one thing I find kind of like jarring as well, this is very off topic, is like there's no way he's like unaware that this is the type of reaction that like comes when like I'm mentioned. Like, he's restreamed tournaments before where I've been involved, and like he sees his chat's reaction. He's had videos before where like I've been featured as well, and like the comment section always ends up getting like super nasty. So for me, it's like, I don't know, like you're not unaware that this happens, and like you don't really do much to quieten it down. So like for me, it's like, I don't know, it gives me strange vibes. I'll be honest, it gives me strange vibes. And then you couple that with all the Hwoarang stuff going on, I get strange vibes. But yeah, I've seen this video like so many times now because of all the times I've had to like react to it and this, that, and the other. So like I'm not gonna watch it in full again. So what I'll do is, like, I don't know, if you want to watch it for yourself, you can watch it for yourself, and I'll just be replying to things he said in the video more than anything, because I'm getting tired of saying the same things over and over again. So he's saying like Hwoarang used to be so cool and they ruined him, and like I used to like him so much, and blah blah blah. And like one thing I've been saying that I think is weird about that is my first ever interaction with the TheMainManSwe was like between 2019 and 2021. It was years ago in Tekken 7, like season 2 or 3, whatever. I ran into him in ranked. I won, and then he won and done. So he left, and he was like, I just can't play against that character, bullshit character. I'm not doing it, whatever, blah 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 blah, yada yada, etc etc. So he was doing all that, right? So like he was doing that about Hwoarang that is like nowhere near as strong as the one we have now, which again, I know Hwoarang is very strong right now. I literally play the character. I think he needs to be nerfed. I think everyone needs to be nerfed. Whenever people ask me about character balance for Hwoarang, I believe he should be nerfed. I think everyone should be nerfed. Flappy kicks damage is absolutely insane. I thought they didn't nerf it hard enough when they nerfed it in season 2. I don't know why they only nerfed 2 jab. I thought they nerfed the flappy kicks itself, but I digress, because people keep saying like I think he's low tier, or like the downplay is crazy, but they never say what the actual downplay is. They're just like, it's downplay and whatever. Like, again, it gets really tiring for me. And why I'm making this video now, and why I feel like I have to say something, is because every time the main man does this, so he has a video about Hwoarang this, set, and the other, it always spills over to me every single time. My chat, I get more people in my chat saying really dumb things about the character and calling me a bunch of words. My YouTube comment section, I can actually show you like a visual representation of what happened, right? So you can see when he uploaded the video here, and then I was just getting more and more comments on my tier list video, which is a month old. I found it so weird that he's reacting to my tier list from a month ago. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of where I sit right now. And and here's the thing, I completely understand. I find it weird when people say this, but I completely understand that Hwoarang is a difficult character to learn how to play against, like 100%. And I think the tools in the game doesn't give you the tools you need to learn how to get better at dealing with the character. Like, yeah, replay system is cool, but like there's certain stuff with knowing when to step and when to interrupt and when this. And like how when he's plus in Flamingo, you have to remember his fastest move in left Flamingo is actually his I-13 jab. So if he's like +3, that's basically 0. And if you both jab, it trades, right? So there's stuff like that that isn't explained in the game, and you have to go outside to find that knowledge. So I completely understand he's a hard character to deal with. But my point here is one that is echoed by Basika, because Basika is in the comment section here, and he says, oh, that's not Basika. He's like, here we go again, because Basika has like responded to a lot of the stuff that Main Man has said. He's made a good video. He said, I agree with Main Man most things. He wants to get enough from Hwoarang. I just don't think it's right to say he's busted on another level. I don't think Main Man understood my view. And that is my view as well. I think there's things that need to get enough. Speakers made a tweet a while ago talking about a lot of the things Hwoarang can do that leave him in right Flamingo, like his 2-4 jab, down back 4, these things leaving him right Flamingo on whiff, and they shouldn't leave him right Flamingo on whiff. And that is stuff more and more I start to agree with, because it will give people more better punish windows and blah blah blah. But like whatever, that's stuff I'm agreeing with over time. But yes, he needs to get nerfed. Everyone needs to get nerfed. I don't believe he is busted on another level. I think it's so insane that like all the people in this comment section, like, main man, you're right, you go main man, like you're so right about this. You know, he is a down player, get that down player. When main man says that Kazuya is not competitively viable right now, like, how am I the crazy people saying K was invented downplay when like he literally says his character is not competitively viable? But I digress. So we're just gonna get into like the points in the video, because he talks about our tier list quite a bit, and like how he disagrees that Feng should be on the same tier as Devil Jin and blah blah blah. Like Devil Jin should be in a tier below, which I don't agree with. I think Devil Jin is still strong, and I think Feng is like, I think with Feng I've explained this. So the thing is, I'm experiencing so much deja vu right now, because the amount of times I've had to play through these. Literally, that's what he's talking about right now. But the amount of times I've had to like say the same thing, I'm experiencing serious deja vu. But anyway, let's start where he starts talking about Hwoarang, and the stuff he has to say about Kazuya and Heihachi and stuff. In agreement on that. Yeah, very strong character, insane heat damage. He does everything all the characters are doing. I wonder if the Genmaji temple music is too loud. Hold on. The only thing with Hwoarang, and I'm gonna compare him to Lars in this regard, is Hwoarang is still high risk, high reward in the sense of,
yeah, now he's gonna talk about like option select.
Oh, that's not what I was gonna talk about. But when Lars takes risks with his lows, in stance, you're getting the -12 lows. Hwoarang with a down 3-4, that's launch. With the hell sweep, is launch. Obviously, down back 4 is one of the best lows in the game right now. No debate around that. But he is a character that's actually taking risk. And you're talking to someone right now who plays this character at the highest level and understands that there is risk involved with the things that he does. Tracking is still an issue with certain moves.
It's just that when we compare.
So before we hear his response, which is crazy, I'm just gonna literally illustrate my point, right? I'm gonna literally illustrate my point right here, right? So what I'm talking about with Hwoarang is when he is in stance and he goes into a situation where he is in stance. So his main ways, you have down 3-4, and when he's in left flamingo mixes and when he's in right flamingo, right? He has to take risks. First off, down 3-4 by itself is in and of itself is a risk. Like, it's completely launched now. Mainman will go on to say that it is a very tiny punish window when that's not true. And I think it really emphasizes a lot of the points I make about Hwoarang, that the people that don't like him would rather complain than learn how to deal with him, because he made that first video 4 months ago talking about all the things. He mentioned down 3-4 being a tight punish window. And in the 4 months since then, at no point has he gone to check if he was correct about that. He still says now it's a tiny pun. He says it in this video. We'll watch him say it in a second. When that simply isn't the case. When they nerfed it last year, it is... Anyway, down 3-4 in of itself is in a risk. Then when he is in right flamingo, his main low here is going to be the hell sweep, which puts him at -1 in the opponent's face. Not exactly what Hwoarang doesn't want to be. And the hell sweep is launch punishable. You can be plus if you just do the first hit, but I believe it's not worth it to do that. But if you want to, for argument's sake, yes, you can be plus by doing the first hit, the hell sweep, into right foot forward. And then he has right flamingo down 3, which is -5 in the opponent's face, not where you want to be, right? So your mix-up options here, in my opinion, for the lows aren't fantastic unless he's in heat, because when he's in heat, obviously, it's a hell sweep again, like it was in Tekken 7. It fully knocks down. Like, yes, I think his mids are absolutely insane now. In right flamingo, I didn't even mean to do the just frame that time. Like, he has so many safe mids now. Like, this is really good. But because the lows aren't that fantastic, you're gonna have to do those lows at some point to make people duck. And someone actually leaves a comment on the MainMan's video saying, yeah, like Hwoarang and Lars, they do have insane stance pressure, but you know, for them to get you to duck, the risks they are taking are not proportional. And that's all it is. I wasn't saying, I was using Lars as a point to emphasize why I believe Hwoarang is not one of those best characters, because he does have to take those risks. And now we'll compare it to Lars, and this is the point I've been making about Lars for a long time now. When Lars does a move like Den 3, he has Sen 3 plus 4, and he has Sen 2. Sorry, Sen 1. Sen 3 plus 4 and Sen 1. Those are both mids. The only way to stop those. So first off, you saw that mid there. Heat engager will be +5 if he's in heat, and also a launcher in heat. And then Sen 3 plus 4 is just mid. Do it, Lars. Mid, chip damage, 0 on block. Force crouch, so technically +1 because of the force crouch, right? The only way to stop either of those mids, you can't sidestep, you can't sidewalk anymore. You used to be able to, you can't. They buffed Den 3. You now have to power crush, right? You have to do a power crush to not deal with either of those mids. The problem, in my opinion, and why I mentioned Lars in this regard, is then he also has Sen 2, which is a low counter hit launcher, which is like, okay, fair enough. +6 on hit, -12 on block. And that is literally the point I was making there. When these characters have you in a stance mix-up situation and they want to get you to duck, they have great mids, but they want to get you to duck because what you have to, the lows are the reason to make you duck. I believe Hwoarang is taking more risk than the characters that are in there. But again, not a reason to say Hwoarang needs buffs. I'm not trying to say he needs buffs. I think he still needs to be nerfed. That is just the point I was making. But like in the comments, they're like, he's comparing their lows. He's so silly. That is simply the point I was making. And then same again with the limited entry mix up. And then when he goes into that, he has the low, +4, -12 on block. And then the mid, do the mid. Obviously he gives up his turn, but it's going to be a wall splat. And when he's in heat, it is a full launcher. I didn't walk forward, that's my fault. Which is then mixed up with a -12 low that has a huge knockdown animation that I can't bother to show right there, right? Obviously, when he does the shoe shine, you can dick jab to stop both options there. But that's when you see good last players do shoe shine into orbital, shoe shine into sidestep, punish. Like, because again, the dick jab is so obvious because it's the only way to stop those two things. But again, I digress. What I'm talking about is when these characters make you want to duck, they are doing it with relatively safe lows. When Hwoarang does it, down 4 is launch, hell sweep is launch. That's my point. But we're going to get into MainMan's response to that.
In my opinion, to characters that truly takes risks, I don't know what the problem is with Hwoarang. They gave you a full screen Demon Paw, Dragon Lash, homing full screen mid, +1 on block, heat engager, launches in heat. It comes out.
My thing as well when he talks about, because again, he's not on the point here. Like, my point is taking risks in the stance situations to open people up. And I think I truly believe he overplays Black Kite quite often. So aside from like dismissing the point initially, well, he doesn't dismiss the point. He'll come back to it and he'll be wrong about it. But like aside from that, like I think he really overplays Black Kite. Like I think the move is obviously very good. I think he overplays his range quite often. And like, yes, it is good, but I don't like when you talk about insane initiation tool, it's the fact that like if you compare it to like Lars Den 3, for instance, because again, they're essentially the same move, homing mids, heat engage, into stance technically, because right before it is technically a stance. Again, +2 if you hit on the second active frame. I've never seen it hit on the third active frame, actually. I don't even know if that's possible. But anyway, +2, you'll see this very often. You'll see the players I play against very often just jabbing the situation, because if I do another Black Kite to chase you down because of the distance, I get floated, full combo. And my frame traps just don't connect here, right? Like I think you can't, there's not really the frame tight game you can play here, like from what we're doing. Obviously, if you hit it from point blank, it's a different story, right? But like I'm talking about it in the essence that he is in terms of insane initiation from long range, like just not really. In general, you'll see people just jabbing Hwoarang in right foot forward because there isn't like a scary high crush thing here. I don't think like you see, and again, if we're in like this situation, like backlash and RFF, like if you just single jab, if it's a backlash, jab, duck, punish. If it's the Black Kite, just float, right? Like again, I'm not trying to, I mean, people are gonna say I'm down. And here's the thing, and this is one thing as well that happened. You'll notice in the video, I was very like, in my tier list, I was very brief with, I think, with everything I had to say about Hwoarang, because I knew no matter what I said, people were gonna say I was downplaying. If I said he was top 10, people would still say I'm downplaying. If I said it was top 5, people would still say I'm downplaying. So for me, it was just like, I'm just gonna justify why I don't think he is top 10. People either gonna listen or they're not. They didn't listen. There were literally comments where people were like, he didn't put him top 10, that's downplaying. And some replied said even top 10 would have been downplaying. So like again, there's nothing I could have really said at that point, I guess. But yeah, like my point here is kind of just echoing what Basika has been saying, that like, yes, Hwoarang is strong and nerfs need to happen, but like singling him out as like the most busted is just like that is something he disagrees, and something I disagree with. And TheMainMan's been doing it for like 4 or 5 months now. So
it's out so quickly as well. You can just motion switch down for it free and it comes out almost instantly. What's that for a neutral button to give a character that used to struggle with initiation? And then with risks, it's like, I don't know, like what risks are you taking exactly? He's mentioning down 3-4. The punish window on that move is so small.
I don't need to get into this, do I? Yeah, he mentioned this in like the first video from 4 months ago. And this is why I've been saying for like so long now, and I think it's my issue with like the people who consistently complain about Hwoarang to me. I'm not talking about him in general, but him specifically, but in general, is like, I say this all the time, that people that complain about Hwoarang would rather complain that actually learn how to deal with him. And even if they nerf him, these people will still struggle because they won't still take the time to go to lab and figure out what they should do in this new situation. And down 3-4 has been that, like, it's something I've said for years. I'm so glad they nerfed down 3-4 and like proved me so right here, because if you just go to the lab and try and punish down 3-4, it's not hard at all. And again, for Kazuya, his character, he had a 13 frame launcher, which was very good for punishing it in the first place before the nerf. But yeah, like I made videos like a long time ago doing anti-Hwoarang stuff. Down 3-4 was one of the focuses. And what I did was I showed like a bunch of different characters, like specific options for them to punish and get a very good punish. I obviously didn't do all characters. I didn't know all characters, but like for Asuka, full crouch swipe, got a guaranteed follow-up. Anna, full crouch down for 2. Someone like Lily could just do while standing 2 because it high crushed the flappy kicks. Lars while standing 2 was the same. Like these moves just high crush the flappy kicks, so you didn't have to worry about it. They could just punish with no issues, right? And people like were just leaving comments like, that's too hard, I don't want to do that. And for me, it's like, okay, then like, what do you want me to do then? Because all I can do is tell you what to do. I can't make it easier for you, right? Like, I can't do it for you. That's all I can do. So I think I've had a very cynical attitude towards the people that like complain about Hwoarang for a long time now, because like, I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, but all I can do is try and put the answers in your hand. And if you don't want to grab it and take it with you, then like, that's not my problem at the end of the day. So stop complaining to me about it, right?
You're taking risks when you're plus on whiff on your flamingo jabs.
Now, here's my thing about the way he complains about flamingo jab coming up. He'll say it's plus and whiff, you can't whiff punish it, blah, 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 blah. Right, first and foremost, how often are you sitting there at home? How often are you just launching a whiffed single jab in general, right? Like, that's not realistic to sort of expect to always be launching and heavily punishing single jabs. And I think Hwoarang's, obviously his flamingo jab does have very good whiff recovery, but I think it's, again, more missing. I'll give this little anecdote, right? I was streaming, I think like a few weeks ago, and someone was in my chat complaining about Hwoarang, and they were being misinformed. And they later said a lot of the reason was because of TheMainMan's videos, which doesn't surprise me. But he was like, the 2 jab does like 100 damage on counter hit, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it doesn't. Yes, it's a counter hit launch and it's very strong, but it's not doing that much damage. Like, he dug his heels and he said, no, it does. Then eventually I proved him wrong by just doing the combo. And then he started complaining about other things like flamingo jab. What about flamingo jab? Like, you can't punish it at all. And at the same time, I was playing against Joker in ranked, who was launching every single whiff flamingo jab that I was doing. And like that, like, this is why these types of things are so annoying for me, because it's like I'm literally seeing it happen in front of me. Like, yes, these are very, very, very good players, but don't say something is impossible, hard, like it can't be done when in front of you as you are watching it, it is being done. Like, very often I'm playing against good players who are punishing these things very well, very consistently. So again, when I think the thing that annoys me more than anything is when I talk about a character's strength based on my experience, or when I'm talking about Hwoarang's strength based on my experience, playing against very, very, very good players, countering things very, 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 very well, like, that is going to factor into how I feel about the character's strength. And instead of people at least trying to like understand where I'm coming from, but like, at least at his level, the players he's playing against, maybe there are some weaknesses that the character has. They're just like, no, you're wrong because I can't do it. That is kind of, I can give you guys a perfect example. If we go to my tier list, which is linked here, is this comment I got here, who said, you're like the devs, ignorant of what happens on the receiving end. They think he's not top 10, but that's 100% downplaying. When you play him, you feel as though your attacks can be countered, but truthfully, it's not. I advise you to play your second main against a strong Hwoarang main and see how well you do. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You can't tell me his attacks simply cannot be countered. Like, this is the type of stuff I deal with all the time. And it gets frustrating because it's like, you're telling me that I'm wrong because there are answers that I'm giving you, but you're saying those answers are wrong. Instead of checking if I'm correct or checking if what I have to say is right, you just dig your heels in and say, no, you're wrong. His attacks cannot be countered. So, yeah, it does get annoying from time to time. And I think the main reason people say I'm a downplayer is I'm very often responding to people like that. I'm responding to their comments because they come to my chat very often. They say this other character's busted, broken. They come to my chat so often. I'm responding to that, and people are like, why is he always downplays? Because I'm always having to at least try and tell people like that what they're saying is factually incorrect. Like the guy that's like, the 2 jab does 100 damage on counter hit. It doesn't. It is a counter hit launcher. It is strong. I think they should have nerfed flappy kicks differently, but anyway.
Your backlash recovers so quickly that even in an offline setting, you see top players drop with.
Again, backlash in talk about down 3-4 and backlash in 2025 is crazy to me. But like, if backlash whiffs in front of you and you don't punish it, to me that's a skill issue, and I'm sorry. I genuinely believe a backlash, it is a slow move. It is the same speed as a snake edge. If it whiffs in front of you and you don't punish it well, sorry, that's a skill issue. But if you're ducking it and you're waking up at the wrong time, getting the wrong punish, that is where things get a little bit more dicey because of the active frames, right? You haven't woken up in time. You try to go for your punish, you've messed it up. Now again, this is me saying that when I do play against people consistently launch my backlash, duck and launch my backlash, right? But it is something that is still quite difficult to do. But Like if it's whiffing in front of you, because you're talking about whiff recovery, if it's whiffing in front of you and you're not punishing it, I'm sorry, that's a skill issue. Duck and punish, I think, is a different story because of the active frames. You know, people do get up and mess up the timing in that. I've always said maybe nerf the active frames, but like if it's whiffing in front of you, it's the same speed as a snake edge. I'm sorry, that's a skill issue.
When I talk about Hwoarang and risks, it's almost with quotation marks like this, because it's like your character is almost impossible to punish. When I whiff something,
and this is to be the funniest part of the video, by the way, so tune in.
On my characters, I pay for it very often, you know, Heihachi, Kazuya, someone steps me and I'm like, I'm minus a lot, you know, and they can have a cup of coffee and then launch me. And now I'm exaggerating, but it's like they leave opportunity for a competent player to launch them most of the time. At the very least, take a jab string. Hwoarang, when he whiffs things, I can be razor sharp and go, ugh.
So obviously, I think, I hope people in his comment section call this out, by the way, because I think this is a very ridiculous thing to say. But especially when you're talking about characters with electrics, because electrics are notoriously some of the hardest things to whiff punish in Tekken since they buffed them. What is it, Tekken 7 Season 3 or 4? When they buffed the electrics in the Hell Sweep, they've been notoriously some of the hardest things to whiff punish, and like people talk about all the time that like they can't launch them correctly because of their amazing whiff recovery. And then I've literally seen some people say, yeah, but that's fine because they're hard to do, which is bullshit. But yeah, like I think this is such a basic, like, it's what even is that as a statement? When I whiff of Kazuya and Heihachi, I get punished for it. When you whiff, like when I whiff what? Yes, if I whiff a flamingo jab, I'm less likely to get punished meaningfully. The same way if you whiff a single jab, you're less likely to get punished meaningfully. The same way if you whiff an electric, you're less likely to get punished heavily, right? But if I whiff my down forward 2, if I whiff back 2, if I whiff down 3-4, just frame skyrocket, yes, I'm getting punished heavily for those moves. Like, and one thing about flamingo jab as well is I think it is almost necessary for the character because he has no other way to get out of stance quickly. It is his fastest way to get out of stance. There are times where Hwoarang is stuck in stance. For him to get out, he has to do flamingo jab to get out of stance, right? I think until they give him a way to block or get out and then block, and obviously block immediately after doing something minus in flamingo, but like get out of stance and block, I think flamingo jab is a necessary evil, and I think the reason it has been the way it has been is because of that, right? Especially when they keep adding more moves for Hwoarang that aren't insanely plus into flamingo, where he does it and then has to jab to get out of stance, and that is where Hwoarang gets launched for flamingo jab. Because again, when I'm talking about like Joker and Stack and these players who are launching my flamingo jab, it's because I'm doing a move where I'm like +3 or +4 in left flamingo, which means his fastest move is the jab, the 13 frame jab. For me to get out of stance very fast, I have to do the jab. Is they're anticipating that and then launching it, because it is a very, he talks later on about like King being very predictable. Those are very predictable situations for Hwoarang because he needs to get out of stance because he cannot block. Like there are times like he is straight up just like been like doing Hwoarang practice mode things. He'll be in like left flamingo. He's like, look at this +3, look at this +4. You know, he shows RFS 4-3. Look at this +4. That's insane plus frames. But again, the fastest thing he has in left flamingo is his jab, which is I-13. So essentially +1. If you just dick jab in that scenario, you're gonna win more times than not, and then it requires Hwoarang to then take a risk to call out that dick jab because he has to do up forward 4, up forward 3. So he then has to take a risk to call out that dick jab. Unsafe things. That is a risk to call out something as menial as a dick jab when he's stuck in stance, because if he does it because of the flamingo jab, dick jab is the easy option. So he has to take a risk to call that out by doing up forward 3 or up forward 4, up forward 4 being -14. Like he then like these are the points I'm trying to make, right? Like if he does, again, he talks about RFS 4-3, if I just jab to get out of stance and you dig jab, I then have to take a risk to call that out. Like this is the stuff I'm talking about when it comes to Hwoarang. But again, like I don't know if he knows that. I don't know, because the way he talks about like the plus frames in left flamingo is like, bro.
Now, and he blocks, or he ducks my jab and launches me, and I go insane sometimes. We talk about characters being plus on block. I feel like he's like plus on whiff. There is some effort that goes into playing Hwoarang. It's not Asuka, it's not Anna. It's not,
and as far as I remember, I think that's like the last time he
10
really
moves.
like goes on about like,
strategically, and he has higher potential. He covers that.
oh yeah, and he says Hwoarang has like the greatest potential or something like that, especially in heat.
Lash is now a launcher. He has panic buttons, and he has a 50-50 throw game from back turned. He has plus frame mids on block. He's got a wave dash, just frame skyrocket.
And then he just like lists
He has a
things
back
off,
three, arguably the best whiff punish in the game.
Know.
He has the flamingo pressure. Everything is plus. Everything is plus on whiff. He has lows, he has mids, he has highs.
He has lows, he has mids, he has highs. Therefore, he is a top 10 character. But like, yeah, he just kind of goes on like about just listing things off. And I think that's the last thing that was really about the ranty side. But like, yeah, this is where it just gets tiring for me, because again, it's the same. Like, I don't know. It's very jarring for me, right? Because if he is like interested in what I have to say, or like he's like, why is he saying these things? Like, it's not as if like he literally has the means to reach out to me. Like, he has me on Discord. Like, he straight up has the means to reach out and like have a conversation, or even just ask questions. And if not, he was in my chat like a couple of weeks ago. I don't know whether he was trying to troll or what he was doing, but like, I don't know, like, it's all very weird to me, because it's like stuff that, like, again, still talking about down 3-4 and backlash in 2025 as a reason as to why Hwoarang is a potential top 5 character doesn't sit right with me. Like, my thing is, if you genuinely believe, like, here's my thing. I think I don't mind if people just disagree. That is okay. Like, I think especially with Tekken tier lists, I think Tekken tiers right now are kind of arse, because if you see my tier list, it kind of just ends up being like, you have like what is presumed like the top 10, top 5, whatever. Actually, I shown it, didn't I? Presume top 5, top 10, whatever. Then you have this second mushy tier where most of the characters go, because they're not really weak, but I just believe they're not as good as these guys here, who are taking less risks in my opinion. And then you might have something resembling the low tier, who are still very good characters in their own right, just like maybe slightly less privileged. Like Shaheen's homie moves got nerfed to shit in season 2 for some reason, like just less privileged than some of the rest. Like Feng has to win so many interactions, like they just might be slightly less privileged than the guys in here, right? And again, my tier list wasn't ordered, just because like I think it's almost impossible to order tier lists. I think my top 4 was ordered, and that's like about it. I think maybe Claudio rounds out my top 5 instead of Brian, or maybe Law, I don't know. But like, yeah, there's like, I just think if you disagree with my tier list, I think that's genuinely fine. I think you can, opinions are opinions. I just hate when I have people disagreeing, like you see the main man does there, like some of the comments I get there, and then they're just like wrong about certain things, and if I try and correct them, it's no, you're downplaying. Like, I'm sorry, down 3-4, oh, Windows Defender, down 3-4 is such a tight punish window. That's not the case anymore. And what that tells me is, in the 4 months you made the first video complaining about Hwoarang, you never took the 5 seconds it takes to go to the lab and check, was I actually right about that? No, I'm just going to keep spreading misinformation. Like, that's kind of what I get. And it's the same thing I've been saying about the character for a long time. He's a hard character to learn how to deal with, but it just seems like people would rather complain and try and get him nerfed than actually just like learn what you should really do to play against the guy. It's always been that way. Don't get me wrong. Needs to be nerfed right now. Everyone needs to be nerfed right now. I'm not advocating for buffs. I don't know why Main Man said that in my chat. But yeah, like, to me, it's like this. I'm tired of having to like deal with like a Main Man video dropped, and then I know for like the next month or so I have people in my chat, people in my comment section like, this is what Main Man said about Hwoarang, and when like they're just reciting some of the factually incorrect things that he said, or the things that he overplayed, that the people I play against, so they're playing against strong high level Hwoarang all the time and know how to deal with the character, saying, I don't think that's that strong actually. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say on this video. I pray it ends here. I doubt it. And yeah, appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it didn't run too long. I'll catch you guys. The regular gameplay videos should be like returning this week. It's been so difficult because my PC is just having problems, and I want to start making 2xKO videos, and you guys don't care about my life. I'll see you guys in the next video.